stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like Kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
How you doing, Tottenham fans? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Tottenham away family. Hope everyone's well. Oh, you know, I don't know if the season's going well. I don't know if the season is not going well. We're kind of fifth. We're in a top four race. We've been here before. But yesterday, on cue, this chairman, Daniel Levy, once again, he had to go and do something to spoil the party, to upset fans, make people angry, and social media blew up. YouTube channels are doing shows. And I wasn't going to speak on this, and I wasn't going to do a video on it. I put what I wanted to put out on social media. But last night, I was watching Ashmatic from Spurs Kings TV. He was on Last Word on Spurs, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go watch Ash because I like Ash. And there was this period in the show where Ricky Sachs, he went on this almost mini rant stroke preach to the masses, and I honestly, I sat there, I listened to it, And I just thought, this is not true what you're saying. And it's not right what you're saying. And this is what annoys me more than anything else with Spurs when it comes to us trying to bring about the changes that we all want at Spurs. We all want Tottenham to be great and win trophies. But it's not going to happen under this chairman. It's not. I've been fighting for it for so many years. I've been saying it for so many years, along with many others. But we are in that minority group. And I look at these last word on Spurs. I look at these Chris Cowlins. I look at these Michael Bridge, Ali Golds. I look at this collective, and a lot of the smaller YouTube channels. They're all merging into this as well now, where they won't do what is needed and rally the fan base to take the kind of action that's actually going to change Tottenham. They won't do it. I don't know whether it's because they're scared of what people think of them. I don't know it's because they're only doing this for the money. I don't know whether it's because what they do, what they say, it's just for clout. I don't know if it's because they're part of what I believe is this media cartel, these puppet masters that run the media, controlling the Cowlins, the Sacks, the McQueens, anyone else who has to be careful what they say, because if they speak in a certain way or say something about the club, certain guests, certain actors, certain musicians won't come on their show. Certain journalists and so-called ITKs won't come on their shows because they've said Levy out. They won't say it. Or they don't want to be associated with Levy out because a couple of fans at a protest got drunk and said horrible things about Levy. Yet you're happy to sit in the South Stand where fans sing When Sol Campbell Dies. You see the hypocrisy? And I'm just at that point where, yet again, something's happened with Daniel Levy and the decisions that have been made by this board. And what I'm hearing is absolute bullshit coming out of the mouths of certain people. And quite frankly, as you can see by the title of this show, guys, Ricky Sachs, you owe us an apology, mate. I'm going to put up the video in a minute, and I'm going to break down the video of what was said. And then you can make up your own mind. But I'm sick to death of people that criticize the Levy out movement, people that criticize us protesters, you know, us 20 people that stood on the high road with purple and gold balloons and chanting, "We want Levy out." The same fans that were in the stadium chanting, "We want Levy out." We are the only ones, the only fans that took action against what this club has been doing and what it continues to do. It doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about me. It doesn't care about the elderly fans. They couldn't give a shit about us. This is all about money, greed, and wealth. They don't care about winning trophies, and they couldn't care less if we were all to give up our season tickets to tomorrow. They'd replace us with people that want tickets for a day out. Tourists, the prawn sandwich brigade, they will replace us with these fans overnight. They couldn't care less. And I just find it unbelievable, some of the things that I'm hearing right now. But look, I'll get into it. Everyone in the chat, big up to you. Lots of respect. I'm not going to put all your names up on the screen because there's just too many people. Thanks for watching the show, guys. I am going to break it down because someone needs to speak the truth on what's being said here. This is the video, by the way, right there, that I'm going to discuss in a minute. So bear with me. But I just want to quickly explain to those of you that maybe don't know what's going on. If you don't, you know, where have you been hiding? But yesterday, the club announced the season ticket renewals. And look at the way they start off. We are pleased to announce that we are going to shaft you. Look, I've underlined it in red. We are pleased to announce the details of the season ticket renewal process. And then they go on to tell us that there's going to be a 6% increase. Inflation is at 5%, and they're charging us 6%. One person on social media tried to defend the club by saying, oh, but last year inflation was at 12%. Only for a few months. The current rate of inflation is 5% and they're putting it up by 6%. And by the way, they're only going to earn an extra £3 million per year. If you sell Eric Dyer to Bayern Munich, sorry, I'm sure Eric Dyer going to Bayern Munich on loan is more than what the club's going to earn from putting the prices up on the fans. But what really angried people, what's really bothered people, is how they've gone after your granddad, your great granddad, your uncle, you know, the fans in their 60s and 70s, the ones that backed this club in the 70s when Tottenham got relegated to Division 2. It was those elderly fans who were, well, they were younger then, they're older now. It was them that stayed loyal and backed the club when we got relegated to Division 2. When Irving Scholar nearly bankrupted the club, who were the fans that stayed loyal? It's those fans that are now called elderly. In the 90s, when we were just abysmal, who were the fans that stayed loyal then? It's those same fans who we call elderly today. And the last 25 years, a quarter of a century of Daniel Levy and this disingenuous board, who stayed loyal during these years as well? It's those elderly fans. So when we got relegated, when we nearly went bankrupt, and the last 25 years of winning nothing, we are now saying as a club, oi, granddad, go fuck yourself. That's what's angered fans the most. But this is nothing new. This is what Daniel Levy's been doing to fans for years. This is just yet another move that he's made where he just shows, I don't care. I couldn't care less. And he's the highest paid chairman in English football. He earns over £3.5 million a year. No chairman gets paid what he gets paid. And he delivers what? Nothing. No trophies, no silverware. And now he's going after your granddad and your uncle. I get why everyone's angry. And there were some comments where an ex-Bayern Munich president said they could charge more money, but what's an extra £2 million to our club? And you know what? When you see other clubs and other chairmen coming out with comments like this, the difference between 104 and £300 a year is huge for the fan. We do not think the fans are like cows who you milk. So effectively, Daniel Levy looks at us as a bunch of cows and he's just milking away. That's what he's doing. This is why we are Levy out. This is why we've been Enoch out. This is why we've been against this board for so long. Because we see through them. And all we've ever had is abuse. We've had the likes of Chris Cowlin standing on the high road from a distance because he's too scared to come over and say hello. He's too scared to show that he's got a backbone. And he films us on his mobile phone like this. He stands there and he videos us. He takes pictures so he can upload it on his YouTube channel and make money off of the protesters so that he can try and fit in with the fan base and say, look, I was there. I saw what they were doing, but you did nothing about it. You don't say Levy out. You don't back the cause. Yet you want to make videos and moan about it, which is exactly what Ricky Sachs has done yesterday on Last Word on Spurs. Ricky Sachs has done the exact same thing. The Spurs Supporters Trust, Kat and Martin, the two that have been forced to step down and who no longer run the trust, they're coming out saying, we've got to take action. Where were you last year? Where were you people? You're out there on social media trying to gain clout, trying to big up your chests, but when it mattered, it was the Levy out mob, as you called us, or mafia. It was us. We're the ones that fight. We're the ones that stood there. And now everyone wants to come out and speak. This was all about money, greed, and increasing their asset portfolio. They couldn't care less. It's a sports, entertainment, leisure, Disneyland facility. It's a money-making cash cow. Where's the stadium naming rights? You've just applied to Haringey Council to double the number of events you want to hold. You've just launched your F1 go-karting. All of this money and the potential to earn more, and you want to target the elderly fans. You are a disgrace, Daniel Levy. Shame on you and on Cullen and the lot of you on that board. And shame on the YouTubers who don't stand up and do something. Shame on the podcasters, the social media accounts. Where are you? You so-called Spurs fans. You're too scared because you're worried what Johnny or Mikey might think of you. You're worried what other people will think of you. And you sit there and you hide behind, but we're a balanced channel. You're not balanced. None of you are balanced. If you were balanced, when you talk about these subjects, you would have people that are Levy out on the show. You would have people that want this chairman gone on the show to create the counter argument. That's balance, but you don't have anyone that's Levy out. Nobody. You might have the odd person that says, yeah, I've been Levy out for 8 years. No, you haven't. These people that say that, they haven't been to a protest. They haven't helped organize a protest. They haven't been inside the stadium and tried to disrupt the match day goings on so that we can catch the eyes and the attention of the media. They don't stand there on the high road trying to be interviewed by these media companies and speak about Levy and the board. Where are they? Oh, I've been Levy out for 7 years. No, you haven't. You're just saying it. This is the problem at Spurs. He's laughing all the way to the bank. And it's because you people don't want to take action. You're too scared to do it. And listen, let's have it right. Other than Tottenham away, other than this channel, who has shown the backbone and the bollocks, the cojones to really take action? Which other YouTube channel, which other content creator, podcast, out of all the ones we've got in this Spurs community, who actually fights the cause other than Tottenham away? Stelios, Iggy, JP, us three, we get involved on protest days. Mari and Will Stewart, they live in America. What can they do? Tottenham on tour, Brian Daigle, Ryan Isaacs, Danny the Bun, Ben Kaufman, they get involved. Spurs Kings TV, Hass has been to the protest. He's been involved. I'm sure I've seen Marlon and Ash there a couple of times. Other than us channels, who actually genuinely shows that they care? Not talk the talk, but walk the walk. You go and tell me. You go and list all the channels that do it. There's only three of us, maybe four, who actually fights this cause and doesn't just say things for clout and to try and fit in. Oh, the wind's blowing this way, I'm going to go that way. Oh, 1 minute, the wind's blowing this way, I better go that way. We've stayed consistent. We don't go with the direction of the wind. We say it as it is. That's what Tottenham away is about. Very few channels are prepared to say something and then back it up. And I'll tell you this now. I know for a fact, a lot of these people, they won't dare say Levy out because of me. Because I'm someone who strongly has fought this cause. And they don't want to associate themselves with me because I speak the truth and I say it as it is, people. I've always said it as it is. I've been called a murderer, a rapist, a thug, a fraud, a misogynist, racist, a paedophile, a child abuser, a fraudster. I've been called every name under the sun. I've been accused of every major criminal activity, yet here I am on YouTube. Never had the police speak to me, never been arrested, no criminal record. I've got a DBS CRB check, clean bill of health. And this is what these people have tried to do to me. They've tried to shut me down. And do you know why they've done it? Because I'm not scared to speak on it and say it as it is. And I can articulate it and I can say it in a way that is in an adult fashion and have a debate with these people. I've put them all to shame because they say one thing and they do the other. It's not right. And this is why Daniel Levy does this. This is why Daniel Levy gets away with it. Because you don't want to stand up against him. You don't want to do it. And yet you want to moan and complain and then call me every name under the sun. Okay. The Spurs Supporters Trust, they put out a statement. We're dismayed by the club's plans to increase season tickets by 6%. Blah, 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 blah. The Spurs Supporters Trust. What have they ever done? They write emails, they write letters, another non-entity of an organization when it comes to challenging this chairman and taking proper action. They started protests at the start of the season. It fizzled out after 2 minutes. You've got THFC flags who have put out a statement saying that they're not going to unveil their TIFO because they feel bad and they don't want to ask people for money because of what's happened. Listen, fair play to them. It's a really honourable thing. But do you think Daniel Levy is shitting himself that the TIFO is not going to come out? Oh no, they've cancelled the TIFO. Oh, what am I going to do now? Daniel Levy couldn't care less. He couldn't give a shit. like I said to you, he's laughing his head off people. I emailed the Fab last night. Can you please explain the influence you and the fan advisory board have had as our representatives with regards to the 6% hike on season tickets and the reduced concessions for our elder, loyal and long-serving fans? Regards, Kois Stelios. Have they replied? No. Fan advisory board. I've put a rally cry out and I've said, after everything that's happened, the way we're treating our elderly fans, Daniel Levy disrespecting us yet again, what needs to happen is Fab members, if they had a backbone, the Spurs Supporters Trust, Johnny Tyndall, Sean Willis, Himali Patel, Chuck Hoffman, Paul Pavlou, Chris Poros, Sachin Patel, Dee Bright, Rachel Martin, Stephen Cavalier, all of you, step down off that fan advisory board. It will cause a media outrage, it will embarrass the club, and it will show that fans genuinely have had enough. Will you step down from your roles? Because they don't give a damn what you have to advise, and they couldn't care less what you think. In the old stadium, when we had issues with Daniel Levy and the decisions he made regarding the fans, this banner was put up in the stadium. The great Bill Nicholson, the best manager this club's ever had, he said, we must always consider our supporters, for without them, there would be no professional football. And do you know what Daniel Levy thinks? There you go. He went and did the budget for Tottenham. Old people can get fucked. There you go. That's his response. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Every year this man does something. Every year this man does something to go against the fans and show he doesn't care. By the way, can I just say, because I'm seeing a couple of comments in the chat, protesting can be boycotting matches. If you don't go to games, if you choose not to go to matches, because there are people out there that do refuse to go to games. I know Sav is one of them. And who else was it? I was chatting to today. I think it was Bill. They don't go to games. They boycotted the stadium. That is a form of protest, by the way, right? If you boycott games, that is a form of protest. If you want to stand on the high street and make noise and say Levy out and do the same in the stadium, that is a form of protest. If you refuse to spend money on club merchandise, purchase food and drink in the stadium, that is a form of protest. Protesting comes in many fashions. Our fans who live in America, Canada, Asia, India, parts of Europe, Australia, they can't get to the stadium to protest, but they can make a lot of noise on social media. That is a form of protest. So protesting comes in many ways. I just want to make that clear, by the way, guys. There isn't just one way to protest, but the Levy out protesters have been the most consistent and vocal protesters of the lot, because we got into the corridors of Lily White House last season. Our noise, our voices got into the corridors of Lily White House last season, which is why you saw Daniel Levy sitting there on a match day and his partner put her hand on his hand and said, "It'll be okay, Daniel. You're earning £3.5 million a year. They'll come back. Yeah, he was rattled. We rattled him. Never forget that. Never, ever forget that. That's why you've seen Ange here, this new data analytics team. And the cheek of it was at the start of the season. This is what Daniel Levy said. He had all the fans in front of him, all you people that threw the Levy out crowd under a bus and called us mobsters and mafia, all you people that went to the fan forum. This is what Daniel Levy said. Listen carefully to what this man said.
Simple. We've got our Tottenham back. That's
We've got our Tottenham back, and fans are there clapping. We've got our Tottenham back. Who took our Tottenham away, Daniel? Who took the heritage, the history, winning trophies away from us? You. You took Tottenham away from us. And then you have the audacity to sit there and say, well, yeah, Ange's here. We've got our Tottenham back. Yeah. Woo! I'm going to bring up the Ricky Sachs video. And I just want to show to you what is going on in our Spurs fan base community and why we will never get rid of this man whilst things like this are being said. As long as we've got the Ricky Sachs, the Lee McQueens, the Cowlins, and so on and so on and so on, who refuse to step up and do something, this will continue. I'm going to play parts of the video, comment on it, and then I'm going to start it again. All right. Similar to the Super League, no means no. Who are the fans that went to the Super League protest? Who were the 200 fans that were outside the stadium chanting, fighting, and doing the interviews with Sky Sports about the Super League? Who were they, Ricky Sachs? It was the Levy out. It was the Enoch out protesters. It was us. We're the ones that said no means no. We're the fans that were on the high street. We were the ones holding those big white banners saying Enoch out. Us. And you sit there saying it needs to be like the European Super League where no means no. We're the ones who fought it. And you threw us under a bus last season. Can you see the disingenuine comments being made here? What we need is to repeat what the European Super League protest was about. But I'm not going to tell you who actually did all that because it was the Levy out guys. But I can't mention their name because people in the media won't speak to me then. I won't be able to get journalists and actors and musicians on my channel. They won't come on my show if I say Levy out. I can't dare promote that lot. There's no sound in the video. All right, guys. Let me repeat it. Let me try again. Sorry if there's no audio, chaps. I don't know why that is. Video file. Okay, I think I've got it. All right.
Transparency that, again, you could approach that in a certain way. You can't be going there ranting and raving and screaming and shouting because you're not going to get what you want. But I think it needs to be an understanding that, similar to the Super League, that no does mean no. And I think I've got to say very quickly.
So that's the bit where he says, just like the Super League, no means no. It was us protesters, us Levy Outlook that were the ones at the protest, right? Let me carry on with the video, the next bit that he talks about.
Cat and Martin, who spent a number of years on that board, and I think were, for me, looking back now, two of the most, I'd say, selfless individuals in how they dealt with so many fans' concerns, fans' queries. And I have to say that, for me personally, to not have those guys on the board anymore is a real great shame, because I think the one thing you need.
So he's just said it's a shame that Cat and Martin aren't on the board. If you don't know who Cat and Martin are, they used to be the two people that led the Spurs Supporters Trust. Obviously, they're good friends with Ricky. He's had them on the show. They're all part of the mates club. Cat and Martin did absolutely nothing to fight the cause. Other than write an email and write letters and tweet, they did nothing. Let me tell you what Cat and Martin did, because this is where Ricky isn't being honest about Cat and Martin being the right people for this. When the European Super League happened, I was at the protest. Do you know what Cat and Martin did? Nothing. In fact, they got people to come near the protest and hand out leaflets saying, please come to this location in Tottenham. We want to film you do a video. So they've got a camera set up. We want you to sit in front of the camera and tell us why you think the European Super League couldn't happen. And then they wanted to put all these videos together and send it to Daniel Levy and say, Daniel, our fans have made a video. This is what they think. That's what Cat and Martin did. That was their input. That was their leadership to fight against Daniel Levy. Cat and Martin refused to protest. They said, we're not protesting. We're not going to be Levy out. That's what they did. And yet, opposite the South Stand, they set up a stall and they held a protest against the Saudi Arabian owners of Newcastle. That's right, people. Cat and Martin led a protest on behalf of the Spurs Supporters Trust to protest about the owners of Newcastle United. And 30 seconds to their left down the high road were protesters protesting about the ownership of what? Our club, which is what the Spurs Supporters Trust should be caring about. Our club. They didn't want to protest about Levy. They didn't want to protest about Enoch, but they had the time, the resources, and the energy to run a protest on Tottenham High Road against the owners of Newcastle. Like, are you actually taking the piss? Is this for real, people? And I've got to listen to Ricky Sachs telling me it's a real shame Cat and Martin aren't there. Crazy. It makes zero sense what you're saying here, Ricky Sachs. You want the European Super League, no means no, when it was the Levy out protesters that fought that. You want Cat and Martin back, who refused to protest, refused to organise a boycott, refused to organise a walkout. Instead, they were preoccupied protesting against the Saudis and Newcastle United, and they're running the Tottenham Spurs Supporters Trust.
With Cat and Martin is that we would absolutely 100% fight the corner of every single fan on every career being had out there. And look, what I would say to supporters that want clarity on the situation is, look, there is still a trust there. I've got to say to you that, is there going to be a huge pushback from the trust? There seems to be an acknowledgement that ultimately what has been done is a dismay and is unacceptable. But with relation to the next stage of that, I really don't know. And I think that's the concern, that we don't seem to, at the moment, actually have any real governance in place with.
We don't have any real governance in place. We don't have any real leadership authority in place at the club for us fans. What's the Spurs Supporters Trust supposed to be? What's this fan advisory board supposed to be? Look, here they are. There's all your fan advisory board members. What are they for then? Ricky Sachs, you are not going to get this governance because the chairman doesn't give a shit. He couldn't care less what the Spurs Supporters Trust say or do. He couldn't give a damn about this fan advisory board. The only reason we've got the FAB is because government requested that clubs do it. This isn't the club saying, we've got this really good idea, we're going to get fans involved and they're going to advise us and help us with decisions. No, this comes from government. They've been forced to do it. The reason we haven't got governance is because this is a business And the chairman can do, the owners can do what they want, which is why we have to protest. We have to boycott. We have to stage a walkout. We have to make this messy in the media. We have to shake him up. Last season, he admitted that he was shaken up by everything. That's the only way. This is the only language Daniel Levy understands. He's a con man. Do people not realize he's conning everyone? He doesn't care about trophies. He doesn't care about signing elite level superstar quality players. He doesn't care about winning silverware. He couldn't care less about how much money you've got to pay. He couldn't care less about your granddad, your uncle, your great grandfather. He couldn't give a shit about the legacy of this football club. He's a con man. He sits there telling you, oh, we've got our Tottenham back. Bollocks. Governance. We're the governors. We are the governance. The fans. We are the governance. Stand up and fight against him. Nothing will change. And you think it's bad now? God help us if Arsenal win the league title. Stan Kroenke, the chairman of Arsenal, has owned Arsenal for 5 years. That's right. He's actually owned the club for 5 years. He was a shareholder, but he didn't have control. He's only had control of Arsenal for 5 years. And in those 5 years, he's won an FA Cup, rebuilt the club, and they're on the brink of winning a title in 5 years. Daniel Levy's been here for 24 freaking years, man. A quarter of a century. We've won nothing. He's built a business empire off the back of us fans, cash flowing it. And now he wants to cut off the elderly fans. That's what he's done in 24 years. And Stan Kroenke in 5 years completely changed Arsenal. And we're talking about we need governance. Stop the political bullshit. We're not politics. We're football fans. We are the governors. Remember what Bill Nicholson said? We must always consider our supporters. Without them, there will be no professional football. That's because we are the governance. We, the Spurs fans.
An organisation to be able to really voice our true concerns with the hope that if you've got a problem, it's going to be resolved and going to be dealt with. And I think in this situation, you do need, I would say, hard-hitting characters that are going to hold the club to account. But
we need hard-hitting characters. Like who? Me? Brian Daigle? The protesters? Other YouTube channels that fight the cause? What, us hard-hitting characters? The ones that got mugged off on the high street? The Levy Out Brigade? Mob? Mafia? Those hard-hitting characters, the ones that you threw under a bus, the one that you gossip about in your WhatsApp groups, and you say nasty and bad things about us. Oh, they're horrible. They all want Daniel Levy to get cancer and die. That's the kind of shit you said about us all. We need hard-hitting characters. You had them. You threw us under a bus. You refused to engage with us. You want soft, timid people. Look at the general kind of person that gets invited on your show. You hide behind the fact that they're balanced and they can have adult conversation. One of your own, right? One of your own, Ricky Sachs, Richard Cracknell, Mr. Crackers, he came to the Levy Out protest last year. He stood with us. He then came back on your show, and do you know what he said? It was a peaceful protest. No trouble, no horrible things being said. Just fans who care about the club that want what's best for Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, protesters are fine. You've got hard hitters in those protests, but you didn't want to back us. You don't want to dare engage with us. And that's the problem. You, the McQueens, the Chris Cowlins, the lot of you, the Michael Bridge, the Ali Golds, all of you, you just want to sit back and talk about what's going on and tell everyone, he said this and she did that. And this is what happened on match day. And this player that, and that manager this, and the protest this. And all you want to do is be a commentator, a media pundit. But what you won't do is step forward and actually back a cause and take action. You can't be saying you want hard hitters when you had them and you worked against them. In fact, wasn't it Lee McQueen that tried to be a part of a new group? Was it Change for Tottenham? Do you remember Change for Tottenham last year? We're going to rally the fan base. We're going to march down the high road and we're going to protest together. Change can mean anything. It could be the change of manager, change of chairman, change of board, change of philosophy. Change can mean many things. Let's unite together. Walk down the high street. Change for Tottenham. And you had Lee McQueen on there banging the drum, promoting change for Tottenham. Fuck the Levy outlaw. And what happened on the day of their march down the high road, people? Can you remember what Change for Tottenham did? Bottled it. They didn't show up. They cancelled it. Change for Tottenham. That is Spursy right there. The only thing you guys did back was Spursy. And you know who did turn up? The Levy out protesters, the ENIC out protesters, the ones that everyone in this fan base tried to demonize. You all tried to mock us and you all tried to bash us. Well, look now. Now you've got the club you deserve, the chairman that doesn't give a shit about you or your granddad or your uncle, doesn't give a damn. That's what you now have because that's what you wanted to back. All you wanted was just get rid of Conte and everything's okay. Really? Okay. Well, then don't complain about ticket prices. Don't complain about the elderly fans being mugged off. Don't complain about any of them. Why don't you call up Change for Tottenham and say, hi, are you guys still around? Any chance we can do something again? You want hard hitters. There are hard hitters there, but you refuse to back them. You work against them. What more can be said about this?
I think we totally understand the transparency that, again, you've got to approach it in a certain way. You can't be going there ranting and raving and screaming and shouting. It's going to be resolved and going to be dealt with. And I think in this situation, you do need, I would say, hard-hitting characters that are going to hold the club to account. But I think we totally understand.
Hard-hitting characters that are going to hold the club to account. Levy out, ENIC out. We tried to hold the club to account. But all we got told was, you're disorganised. Yet Change for Tottenham didn't even turn up. All we got told is, you've got no one leading your group. Yet none of you set up anything. And none of you did anything to fight the cause. Ricky Sachs, you're asking for hard-hitting characters that are going to take action. Why don't you take action? Why are you telling that the trust should do it? Or that we need this governance or we need that? You're good at telling everyone what we need. Why don't you do it then? You're a fan. Do it. Show us the way. You set up the group. Why doesn't Chris Cowling do it? Ali Gold? Anyone? Lee McQueen? But you can't because you're so in bed with the media. You're so tied up with Sky Sports, Talk Sports, this journalist, that journalist, this famous actor, this famous musician, that if you were to dare lead a campaign, you'd lose half of them. They wouldn't dare come on your show because they would tell you, we can't be associated with this. But yet you want to tell everyone else, we need governance, we need some hard hitters, we need the trust to take action, we need this. Look, I heard this speech yesterday and I was just sitting there shaking my head in disbelief thinking, this is the biggest load of bollocks I've heard. I don't hate any of these people. I'm sure they're all good family men. I'm sure they're all good people to their friends. And I bet you, if you're to sit there and have a pint of beer with them, there'd be a good laugh. But when it comes to Tottenham, when it comes to actually standing up to Daniel Levy, and when it comes to taking any kind of proper action, they're all a waste of time, these people. They just want to sit there and talk about it so that they remain relevant. There is zero substance to what they do. Are they going to boycott? No. Are they going to walk out of games? No. Are they going to protest in the high street? No. Are they going to protest inside the stadium? No. Are they going to boycott the club shop? No. What's the point? What is the point then? Nothing changes at this club. Look, guys, honestly, I didn't want to put a video like this out because after everything from last year, I've been much calmer this year. I've really enjoyed YouTube. The channel's grown and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I go on a couple of shows and I'm happy. I really am. But I'm sick to death of this Spurs community pretending we are this one big superstar family when nobody wants to actually do something about the club that we apparently support, about the team that we do videos on every single week. This chairman has come out and taken the absolute piss out of us fans because there's a feel-good factor. He's taken any kind of enjoyment away from this big game we've got against Aston Villa coming up on Sunday. If we lose to Aston Villa, you watch the fallout. You watch how quickly this is going to turn south. I guarantee it. I've been here before. Every year we go through this. Very few people speak the truth when it comes to Spurs. Very few people say it as it is. Because if you do, you've got to be prepared to be called negative, an Arsenal fan, a scumbag, hate Tottenham, a paedophile, a rapist. You get called every name under the sun if you put videos like this out. If you speak the truth about our football players not being good enough. If you criticize a manager, if you say anything about Tottenham where you are just being honest, God help you. And that's why I think a lot of these fans, so-called fans, don't take action. No backbone. And this is what we are. Daniel Levy knows he can do whatever he wants and get away with it because the fans will just say, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it from you, Daniel. Yeah. Donna Cullen, hello. Wagwan, Mr. Seros, did you say something about me? I know you are trolling, Donna. Yeah, I fixed the audio. Audio. Phil P. See, this is what I mean. This is a fan that goes to the protest, purple and gold, till Tottenham is sold, whether you like what Phil thinks or whether you disagree with it. You cannot take away the fact that he takes action, that he does something about it. Respect your elders. Chapter 1, page 1. Exactly. Respect your elders. Guys, if you've got any questions, put them in. I'll take a few questions and I'm going to wrap this up. But I just had to call this out. I had to call this out because I'm not going to sit there and watch certain channels go out there and say things that are just downright wrong. To say we need hard hitters when you had them. To say we need governance when we are the governance. To say Cat and Martin, it's a shame they're not here when they wanted to protest about Newcastle United and the Saudi owners and completely ignore the protests about the club that they're supposed to be supporting. It's ridiculous. The whole thing stinks. And it's all because of this media cartel, this media group where they work in each other's pockets, work closely with the club. They will not do what is needed. And this is why we're in this mess. This is why the Spurs fan base is stuck. Guys, there's a lot of messages here. I'll just try and see if there's any questions and I'll just do the questions. But look, respect to all of you. If any of you have been offended by this video, it's not designed to offend. If any of you feel that, it's a bit harsh, then guys, I'm not going to change who I am. If I can't be honest and speak on the things that go on at this club as I see it, I don't want to do it. And I'm not going to stop doing that because there's no one else out here saying it. There's no one else out here fighting the cause and speaking about what is going on. Not to the level that we need. Big up, George. I hope you're doing well. Am I a mafia? Some good news at last. Phil just bantering the words that are used against us. Levy out is LARPing too, pretending to be a football club chairman. I can see a couple of you arguing in the chat. You don't need to do that. People who protest doesn't have enough power and influence to boycott Daniel Levy from our club. People who had more influence didn't lure in the protest. That's ridiculous. And this is my argument. And they won't because they've sold their souls to the media. A lot of them. It's shocking. Would rather be in the mafia than the Spurs board. Absolutely spot on, 100% right. Listen, I'm glad you agree. There's a lot that disagree, but for me, it's just about saying what I think and what I see. And for me, what I've seen at this club and what's been going on for listen, the last 5 years for me, that was my breaking point. The years before that, when I look back, it all adds up. It all makes sense. This was all from day one. This was all about this. It was all about building a media empire in the guise of a football club and becoming a international leisure and tourism hotspot. This is what it's been about. That's what ENIC stands for. That's what the Tavistock Group that Joe Lewis stands for. They don't care a damn about this football club. And like I said, very few channels actually fight this cause. Brian Daigle, Tottenham on tour, Tottenham away. Sav has been against ENIC for God knows how long. I know the Spurs Kings TV, they've been against it. Ellie, another YouTuber, she's been fighting the cause. Look, if there's more of you that have, sorry that I can't remember all your names off the top of my head, but the bigger channels, they don't do it. They don't touch it. The Fighting Cock, another one, Flav. What a sellout. He's the biggest sellout. Sold himself to Sky Sports. Sold himself to James Lawrence and all that mob. They won't dare go in on Levy. They won't dare take action on this. They won't dare come and protest or stand up against what this man is doing. I hope Flav has got a granddad. I hope he's got some elder family members who are Spurs fans who are affected, because maybe just then that might kick him into gear. Maybe that will give Flav the kick up the arse that he needs. But again, once you're in that media group, I can't say this, I can't say that, I won't do this. But anyone else who does, we will try and make them look bad. And the reason they try and make people like me look bad, and the Levy out protesters and the other channels, the few of us that do call out ENIC and Levy, is because we are speaking the language of what a lot of fans feel. And it takes away traction from them. Because we speak the truth and they can't, believe you me, it frustrates them. It frustrates them that we've got a voice. It frustrates them that our voice is growing, that our channels are growing. It frustrates them that we are prepared to say what they're not. I can't sit there and see everyone on social media saying, Levy this, Levy that. Why didn't you protest then? Why didn't you stand with us and fight? Why didn't you do the things that we were trying to do? Why did you allow Change for Tottenham to counsel their own demonstration? Why did you back them and not us? And now you want to go on social media and preach. I stopped paying to go. That's my protest. Yeah, and like I said, there's many ways of protesting, guys. There's many ways of protesting. Big up. 100% agree. Tottenham away. The THSC are frauds. I think that they just don't have what it takes, because their membership, they've got members and they've got to vote on things. And when half the members are Levy in and half the members are Levy out, that means you do nothing and Levy gets away with it. And the best you can do is write an email. They're not fit for purpose, not for the way this club operates. Our Spurs Supporters Trust is not fit for purpose, given the kind of chairman we've got. If we had a different chairman, the Supporters Trust might be fine. But with this chairman, it's a waste of time having a trust. You naming a bunch of people who still pay to attend. This is something that's often thrown at me, but you paid to go to the games. So what do you want me to do? Stop supporting my club? I support the team, not the regime. I want to watch my team play. I want to support my team. I like going to football. What do you want me to do? Stop doing it? Okay, well, I'll stay at home and watch it on TV. Guess what? That TV money goes where? To Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. The biggest earner at Tottenham Hotspur is TV and media subscriptions. The money the media and TV companies pay Tottenham is the biggest earner. So if you stay at home because you're not going to give the club money and go to matches, you are actually giving them the biggest percentage of money. Whatever you do, you're fucked. The only way out is to stop supporting Tottenham. But then they win, and that's what they want. They want us gone to replace us with these new modern fans, hipsters and prawn sandwich eating brigade, Levy vaccine takers. That's what they want. You need people like me in that stadium. You need me there on match day. Because when it goes off, it's me and others that are going to lead it. But this is what we get hit with. But you pay the money to go there. I don't pay for food and drink. I eat outside the stadium. I don't buy any merch. Do you see me wearing any Spurs merch? I pay for my season ticket because I want to support my team. If I don't pay for my season ticket, I'm going to have to pay for Sky Sports membership to watch it on Sky Sports. And that Sky Sports money goes where? To Tottenham. Even the overseas fans that have got these apps that they watch football on, they pay like £10 a month. A percentage of that goes to the football club because the Premier League have to give you the rights, which costs money. Whatever we do, we are trapped, guys. There's no way out of it unless you stop supporting Tottenham. That is the only way. Don't watch games. Don't follow the club. Don't go to matches. Nothing. But then that's it. We're gone. The fans are gone. And what is it now? What are we? I agree with this. We need a massive boycott. Levy needs to see the anger with his eyes on a live TV game. I say Arsenal don't show up. See, that would be massive. That would be massive. But here's the thing. If we need to win that game to stop Arsenal from winning the league, we're all going to want to be there to cheer our team on to make sure Arsenal don't win the league. So we're stuck, aren't we? I agree about boycotting. I think maybe a game that fans aren't too interested about. So Luton Town, for example, I mean, who cares? Luton v Tottenham. Are you really excited by that game? Not really. That's the kind of game we should boycott. A game that doesn't really mean much to us. I think that has got more chance of fans boycotting. I just can't see how we're going to boycott Arsenal v Spurs. And to be honest with you, even if we gave up our tickets, I'm sure Daniel Levy would sell the stadium out to all the Arsenal fans at £500 a pop and have 62,000 gooners at White Hart Lane paying £500 a ticket. I guarantee you he'd do that. He would sell himself short like that. Stowe is negative. Stowe is never negative, just truthful and realistic. I think so. Thank you for saying that. Cancel your Sky subscriptions. Exactly. Exactly my point. Don't watch Tottenham. And the thing is, if you're going to come on shows that talk about the match, so when we play Aston Villa, we're going to go live that night. Any of you that come and talk about the game, that means you've watched it. Any channel that talks about the match means they've watched it, which means we're all giving money to the club. There's no way you can get out of giving zero to the club. That's what football is now. That's what it's become. %6 increases to cover the food bill for when Ndombele comes back. Oh, my Lord. Guys, I'm going to go another 3 or 4 minutes and I'm going to wrap it up. I only want to do a 1 hour show. I will be live on Football Heritage TV tonight at 8 p.m. Tune in for that. No doubt that'll be another firecracker. See, look, people like Brian Daigle. He's been at the front line of the protest. He's been at the front line at the training ground on transfer deadline day, protesting when we didn't make good signings. Good morning, one and all. Hope you're well. Much love and always leave you out. And that's what it comes down to. But there's not enough of us fans with a voice, with a clout. And I'm talking about YouTubers, podcasters, Spurs fans who work in the media, ITKs. We don't have enough people who are prepared to do the things that Brian and I have done, and many others, but not enough of us. We're a small group, but we're the ones who actually show the backbone that this club is dying. It's dying for a majority to show a backbone and stick it on this chairman and stick it on that board and tell them, you can shove your stadium, you can shove your training ground, you can shove this brand new academy and all this corporate sponsorship. We don't want fucking any of it. We want football to be the focus and for you to actually care about the fans. Nothing else. But are we going to do that? Or is this just another wasted rant? Really, maybe I'm really pessimistic and hopeless, but I feel like this is trying to drain an ocean using a bucket. Mate, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We didn't become fans yesterday. I became a fan when we had Martin Yeo and Edgar Davids. I've seen this club grow in financial terms, but we never grow as a football club. We grow in financial terms because we're going after the elderly. Big up to Inacoma, new channel member. Thank you so much. Sky subscription is nothing compared to what advertisers pay Sky. That's where the money for the Premier League deal comes from. But that then gets siphoned into the deals that Sky Sports signs with with the Premier League. So when the Premier League has a new £3 billion contract with Sky or BT Sports or whoever, it's what you spoke about that also feeds the money into Sky's coffers to be able to pay for those rights. It's all interlinked. The whole thing is bundled as a package. I stopped my membership from last season and stopped buying merchandise for my family. Not happy with the owners. And that is a way of protesting, my man. That is a way of protesting. Have you heard of Fire Stick, lad? Jeez. I have heard of Fire Stick, but unfortunately, I can't speak about that. But even then, how much do you pay for your Fire Stick? That's money. And Amazon, just so you know, also have a contract with the football, English football. That if you go to the games, you are a problem is always such a stupid argument. Better to have fans in the stadium to make noise. I agree. Elias says, thank you for your super chat. If I could go to the UK, I will surely protest. I actually think our overseas fans would do more than what the UK fans are doing. I've often felt that way, especially when you speak to the North American fans and the fans out in Asia. Still, the last one on Spurs video, we can't hear it. Yeah, I fixed it. Sorry about that, mate. Apologies. Guys, listen, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Spread the word. Put the pressure on these channels. Put the pressure on these people to actually do something, not tell us what to do, because we did do something. They didn't want to back it. The Chris Gowlins, the Ricky Sacks, the McQueens, the Michael Bridges, the Ali Golds. Tell them, what are you going to do about it? If you're a Spurs fan, what are you going to do about this? Let's stop pointing the finger at the Trust. The Trust aren't going to do anything. They're incapable. They're torn down the middle. Half their members love Levy, half hate Levy, half sit in the middle. I'm not Levy in. I'm not Levy out. I'm Levy change. A leopard doesn't change its spots, people. Listen, respect to all of you. Much love. I wish you a good rest of the week. There's only a couple of days. And is it worth me even saying, as always, Levy out? Look, all I'm going to say is this. If we can arrange a boycott, let's do it. But put pressure at least to get the fan advisory board representatives step down. Turn your back on the role, because clearly you are not giving any advice to this board that they give a shit about or listen to. Stand up for the elder fans of this club. Like I said, if you missed the start of the video, your granddad, your great-granddad, your uncles, in the 70s when Tottenham got relegated, they stood by the club in Division 2 and cheered on the boys to get back into Division 1. In the 80s, when Irving Scholar nearly bankrupted us, they stayed loyal. They were here. They saved the club. In the 90s, when it wasn't very good, they stayed loyal. They backed the club. And the last 25 years of this absolute treacherous chairman, this con man, Daniel Levy, they've even stayed loyal during that. We've got to back the elder fan. We've got to stand up for them. We've got to fight for them, because without them, let's be honest, there is no Tottenham Hotspur. And without us, there won't be a Tottenham Hotspur in the future. Levy out. Enoch out. Okay. And as always, come on, you Spurs. Peace.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.